What's up, everybody? Welcome back to This or Therapy. I'm your host, Chris Mack, and today's topic we're going to talk about situational awareness. Now, in this particular instance, I'm going to talk about just being aware of your environment, what's going on around you, in a sense of trying to fit in. A lot of us, we're social creatures. We're by nature as human beings for the most part. We all need social interaction. Everybody needs friends. Everybody needs, some kind of a connection. That being said, you have to understand when the connection is there and when we're trying to force it. A lot of us, because we crave that connection with humanity and having a community, we crave it so much that we will stay in places that don't really accept us, where we're not really comfortable, where you don't feel like you're appreciated, where you don't even feel like you're welcomed. But that craving and that sense of community keeps you there. And we have to be aware of these situations. We have to know when it's just not working, right? Firstly, if you're in a place, right, of course, when you first get to a place, you need certain kind of surrounding, whether it be, church or, a certain club, or, a gym, anything like that. When you first get there, of course, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're new there. There are people who have probably been there for a while. It's going to take you a while to get, pretty comfortable. That's just human nature, right? It's just like anybody. If you had a village and somebody came into your new village, you're gonna be a little skeptical. You're not gonna just immediately let them in and be like, "Hey, who are you?" Right? Because that's what we are as human beings. We're tribal. No matter what we build around us, at the end of the day, we might have a society and buildings and skyscrapers and all that stuff, but we still have neighborhoods. That's our tribe, right? So, of course, when you first get into the new village, the new tribe, it's gonna be a period of untrusting, uncomfortability, things of that nature. People got to get to know you, got to warm up to you. No big deal. But that period should only last a short time, right? If you truly belong there, that lasts a very short time, because people are gonna, if you're out putting yourself out there, you're getting to know people and things of that nature, and you still don't feel welcome, it's time for you to roll, because sitting there trying to force something that's not there, a connection that's not there, it does nothing but mess with your sense of self-worth, and it just annoys the other people who don't want to be around you. And some people just don't want to be around you. It's okay. And you shouldn't want to be around people or in a surrounding that doesn't want you there, Like, for instance, I go to a certain gym. When I first got there, it was all great. It's awesome. The people that worked there were great, very welcoming, very warm, things of that nature. But now that environment's starting to change, right? Now certain people don't work there anymore, don't work there as much. I'm not seeing them around, and it doesn't feel as welcome with the new people that are working there, things of that nature. It's totally okay, right? Just because someplace did feel like home doesn't mean that you can't leave, right? It's the same thing with people who leave their hometowns. Sometimes you don't feel comfortable in your hometown. Like, sometimes your hometown is not your hometown. Just because you were born there doesn't mean that you have to stay there. You can leave, There's no rule that says you can't pack up your stuff and leave. And hell, for that matter, not even in your own town, you have to stay in the country that you're born in. If you have the means to travel and get out of your situation, why not take it? It's just one of those things. So you can change your life if you really wanted to. It's really easy. People think it's like such a big deal. Now changing countries is a little bit harder, obviously. You're gonna have a few more difficulties in that regard, but it's not as difficult as you think. It's just adjustment. And that's what the biggest thing is, I think, with our environments being socially aware, is that we as human beings are afraid of change sometimes. And I think that's why we struggle. Once we finally get comfortable, we struggle to get out of that and find something else that's, better for us, because we're so used to that comfort. But we have to figure out ways to get out of that comfort zone to improve our lives. Like if you're in a situation and you don't feel comfortable anymore, you gotta leave. Now, sure, some of those feelings of discomfort or not belonging are temporary. It can be, but if it's, you know when something's consistent, you know when you constantly go somewhere or you're around certain people and you feel that unease, right? If it's a constant thing and it's just not going away, then you know what you gotta do, right? Because again, you're only hurting yourself internally and mentally by staying, by keep being around those environments, like keep yourself in that environment around those people, right? So a lot of people will give you signs. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like you're constantly performing. You're not being your true self. And let me tell you something: when you're not being your true self for long periods of time, that shit is exhausting. Like, have you ever hung out with somebody and then as soon as you got home, you were just like beat tired, even though you thought you had fun? That means that you were putting on a performance. That means you were being someone else that's not your authentic self, because it takes more energy to pretend to please everybody else than to be yourself. Trust me. That's gonna drain you the most, right? It's just like, imagine actors who perform on stage, right? Or comedians, right? Some of it is ourselves, but like a little bit of it is different, right? And especially with actors, right? So if you're performing 3 shows a night, you think at the end of the day you're gonna go home and be that same person that you were on stage? No, you're gonna be tired. You've been pretending. You have to keep a different mindset. You have to use a different kind of energy. If you're a low energy person and the person you're playing on stage is high energy, by the time you get done, you're gonna be exhausted. It's the same thing when you're doing, when you're pretending to please other people, just to be in a group, to be, friends and things of that nature. Like, you're gonna be exhausted. And the thing about it is, you're not doing yourself any favors and you're not doing them any favors, because at the end of the day, okay, they might, you pretend to be this person to fit in. They might like that person, but they're not getting to know the real you. So are you really developing a true relationship if you're pretending to be somebody else? Probably not, right? Because they don't know the real you. And here's the crazy thing: when you get comfortable, you're gonna start showing the real you, and then they're not gonna like it, and then you're gonna feel more ashamed, because you'll be like, well, the real me is not what they like. That's not who I am, and I gotta keep pretending to be this person so I can be around them. No, you gotta go to the places where you can be yourself, feel comfortable, and people who are like-minded. And then that's with anything, like career, social, family, everything. The blood that we're born into is not the blood that we can create. Do you understand? Like, just because you have family that you love and cherish and y'all share the same blood doesn't mean that you have to be around them. Sometimes you gotta eliminate family out of your life because they're on the same wavelength, and that's okay. You can still love them and not be around them. It's possible. Same thing with friends that you might have, And the thing is too, is like, as we grow in life, you're gonna change. So sometimes the friends that you had in high school don't stay friends with you for life. Some people get lucky and meet people that they know since kindergarten and have been friends forever. That's great, but that doesn't happen with everybody else, and it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't make you less of a good person because you didn't have a friend from the first grade until your entire life. We go through stages in life, and when you're constantly changing, you're constantly meeting new people that are in that phase, and some of them are good for the phase and some of them are bad, and you gotta know how to decipher which one is gonna be good for your life. And that's not, some people think that like maybe that sounds a little selfish, but it's not, because you're not really just thinking about just you, you're thinking about them too, right? Because again, if you're in a situation that you're not really meant to be in, well, everybody's gonna be uncomfortable, everybody's gonna be uneasy, and everybody's not gonna be able to be themselves, right? Because your energy pretending could be messing up the game. It could be messing up the surroundings, right? Because you're pretending to be somebody else. So really, it's not selfish, right? right? You gotta go where you fit in, that makes you, with people that make you feel comfortable, and also people that may push you, you know, take you out of that comfort zone in the good ways, not in the bad ways, right? So we just gotta be aware of our surroundings, man. We can't just be trying to fit in just to have community. Like, I know that's part of our human instinct, but at the same token, we have too many surroundings to be, you know what I mean? We have too many options out there as far as like who we can surround ourselves with and who we can be around. And why choose a place where you're not flourishing? There's no point in that, you know? And I guarantee you, if you really sit down and like analyze yourself and find out who you really are, you will find that perfect community for you. Well, maybe not perfect, because nothing's perfect, but you'll find the best community for you. And here's the thing too, is you can have several communities, right? You don't have to have just one group that you kick it with or one surrounding that you stay in. You can have 2 or 3. As long as those places give you something different and something good and make you feel comfortable, and you can be your authentic self in all those places, you know, why not? Some people have separate friend groups. Some friends, you know, oh, this is my party and crazy friend. This is my like sit home and read a book type friend. This is my we watch anime together friends. Whatever the case may be, like you can have those different groups. You don't have to stick to one group. That's another thing that we have to, you know, understand ourselves. It's like you don't have to have one group because you don't have one piece of you that's your personality, right? Like you might be a person that likes to stay at home, but just because you like to stay at home doesn't mean that you don't like to go out or you don't like to, you know, play a sport or something like that, right? Like, right? So you can be a sport person and a stay-at-home person. So it's not, you don't have just one facet of our personalities. Therefore, you can have more than one group, but you can't be in with everybody. People that try to be in with everybody don't have any friends, because you can't be friends with everybody. It's physically impossible. Even if you're the sweetest person in the world, you can't be friends with everybody. It's not part of our DNA. We're tribal. We're villages. Little villages is what we are meant to be. You can't be friends with everybody. It's just not possible. Like, look at any celebrity. Every celebrity you know has haters. Not everybody likes them. So why are you trying to get everybody to like you? It's a waste of time, it's a waste of effort, and you're just gonna do nothing but drain yourself. All right, well, that's the end of today's video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you have a community or if you're looking for a community, and maybe I can help you find one. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.